Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om. Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. Gita, 7th chapter. We were looking, we have been looking to Krishna Guru unfolding the teachings on the nature of limitless Brahman or Saguna Ishvara, which is within the limitations imposed by the gunas of Maya. And he was presenting to us very clearly that all deities, they are limited by whatsoever attributes have colored them, so to speak, They have to color, they have to superimpose some gunas of Maya to create a deity. And then they are all Saguna deities. They haven't realized the self, as we have seen. And Swami was saying that even Brahmaji, which was a little bit extreme, even Brahmaji will have to vacate his post in Brahmaloka. That was something difficult for Mark to digest. Just kidding. And because Mark was planning to go to Brahmaji to have a conversation. But anyhow, when Mark gets to Brahmaji, maybe Brahmaji has already vacated, but there will be some other soul taking that post, and that soul is going to take the name of Brahmaji in any case. So just to illustrate the transient nature of everything, except Nirguna Atma. No? So Swami went further to explain that all these deities, and of course the worshippers of all these deities, they are worshipping limited, finite deities. Yeah? So they are Niskama or Niskama or Sakama bhaktars, but they are just after something which is still limited. So just to recap, as a Niskama bhakta, I can relate to deities as a means to remove the obstacle between myself and what I want to gain, worldly desires for security, pleasures, and dharma, meaning to say punya that takes me to celestial lokas or something like that, higher dimensions. So I can relate to a deity, Saguna, for fulfilling my own desires. And desires, it makes me a samsari, and I can be after celestial or sacred or religious goals, But what makes me a Sakama Bhakta is that I'm just interested in gaining or getting or accomplish things for me and myself. And the Niskama Bhakta, he's going to be or she's going to be interested above all to give something to the field, to the Dhamma field. And furthermore, it is interested in spiritual growth, spiritual elevation. And that's also someone defined as Niskama Bhakta is still searching for the understanding of the nature of Saguna Ishvara, but as a means to get mental refinement, mental purification, and that is something pointing to what we call a Karma Yogi. Karma Yogi is a very intelligent bhakta, So, but the most intelligent bhakta is the mumukshutva bhakta, So the ones looking for the true nature of infinite, limitless Brahman. So we have seen all of that And so, I mean, again and again, in this context, presents that the finite Krishna is finite because it is associated with a certain body, physical body, and associated with the attributes of that physical body, because Krishna is said to be an avatar that came to this physical realm. But even if you are a highly evolved, highly sophisticated karma yogi, you're still relating to directly to Ishwara, and Ishwara being represented by the supreme knowledge, supreme intelligence, pure sattva guna, the intelligence that projects, sustains, and destroys things from moment to moment. So even if I'm dealing with Ishwara, I'm still relating to an aspect, and Ishwara does not have a physical body, but it's still covered by the gunas of Maya, and the guna there in question is Sattva guna. Sattva guna is just allow Ishwara to have this intelligence, this supreme, this huge, I mean, total intelligence of everything, so that he can run this show. So that is still a finite aspect of what is the real God, although Ishwara does not have a body to say, oh, the Sharira of Ishwara, blah, 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 blah. No, but it's still an aspect, it's still an attribute of Maya, meaning to say pure Sattva Guna. So in the question whether Ishwara is finite or infinite depends on the perspective of the devotee, because the devotee can see through pure intelligence and know that Saguna Ishwara is, in its true nature, is Nirguna Brahman. So we can always resolve Ishwara in Brahman, because Brahman is the true nature of Ishwara, of Saguna Ishwara. So from our standpoint, we decide whether we want to have our respect and devotion and reverence stopping at Saguna Ishwara, quote unquote, or going all the way to the true nature of Saguna Ishwara. That's why we say Ishwara and Brahman, they're the same thing. It depends on our perspective. Furthermore, Ishwara is said to be a self-conscious being and omniscient, meaning to say it knows everything below the line of Maya, in Mithya, past, present, future, all realms, all locus, all universe. It has the account of everything. So such a being, which not limited by any physical body, and it has maybe, it's difficult to speculate on the nature of the body of Ishwara. All we know is that I speculate to say that it's predominantly just pure sattva, and that intelligence does not have a body, because the body, from the standpoint of our human experience here in this dimension, is a physical body, but there are subtle and subtle bodies. It's okay. So scriptures say that when I go into the dream state, I go there through a certain subtle body, which body? The dreamer body, the dreamer body. But the body for us here is mainly the physical body. We cannot speculate on the body of Ishwara. My take is there isn't enough Rajoguna and Tamoguna to constitute a physical body, of course. But we have the bodies of the avatars and the bodies of deities that are nothing but human projections, So, but carrying on here, the verse 29 says, not knowing my superior nirguna nature, which is changeless and unsurpassed, the indiscriminate ones consider me to be the unmanifest, which has assumed manifestation. So this is an interesting verse with a kind of a play towards the end of the sentence. The indiscriminate ones consider me to be the unmanifest, which has assumed manifestation. So he's almost trying to say that I did not manifest as Ishvara, you know. So they may see Ishvara, they may see Krishna, they may see Rama there, but they are as good as non-existent because the only reality is myself. So consider me to be the unmanifest, which was assuming a manifested form, you know. So Krishna talks about two types of people, as we have seen. The ones that have understood thoroughly and truly the true nature of God has done it properly. And the other who have understood improperly. Previously, while talking about the nature of God, Krishna pointed out that I have got two aspects. We have seen that extensively. Para Prakriti, my true superior nature, and Apara Prakriti. So all these words have problems. We cannot say that God has a superior nature and an inferior nature. We cannot really say that Jiva Atma has a superior nature and an inferior nature. Nature is nature, it's that without which that thing is not that thing, meaning to say that Jiva Atma has one nature which is not superior or inferior, is Nirguna Atma. Without it, the Jiva Atma is non-existent. Okay? We say superior, inferior, but all these words are problematic. We have only one nature. God has only one nature, and this nature is the very source of consciousness, Chetana Tattvam, consciousness. This, we say, is the true nature of God, which is a word that I prefer using rather than higher nature, you know. But we throw words right and left, you know, but we have to understand they are pointers. We cannot hold on to any of these words. Right, Lynn?
That's right. And this verse reminds me of the Mandukya, there is no creation, you know, assuming to be manifest.
Definitely. Yeah. Good call. Yeah. It's a strong verse. I don't know if Swami is going to look at it from this absolute nature, you know, of there is no manifestation at all, you know. I am the unmanifest, which apparently manifests as the world we live in, you know. Very good. Now, the ignorant people are ones who see only the apparent nature of God, this inferior nature of God, and mistake the physical body of Lord Krishna as the real God. Physical body of God is apara prakriti or para prakriti. We know that it is apara prakriti, and don't get caught up with a God made out of a name and form and attributes, you know. So try to understand at least the nature of God as the supreme intelligence that projects this apparent triangular reality, you know, Ishvara, Jiva, Jagata. Yeah? So Krishna's body comes under the matter, you know, it's matter, energy. So when we say that Krishna's body comes under matter principle, you know, and matter is just matter and energy, okay? So the body, the physical body, but how about subtle body, you know, whatever, you know? So, but what I want to say is that even if we take Ishvara or Krishna being Ishvara, pure Sattva Guna, you know, Sattva Guna is matter, you know, so that we don't get confused. Sattva Guna is matter, is subtle matter. It's the most subtle energy is Sattva Guna. Huh? So if we take even the supreme intelligence as as the true nature of God, we are mistaken, you know? Because anything that is colored by the gunas or constituted by the gunas is is under the temporality imposed by Maya. It is subject to arrival and departure. So it means the visible body will again become what? After the avatara job is done. Lord Krishna disappears in the Bhagavatam, Krishna's disappearance and so on. We have seen that yesterday as well. We have seen Swami here saying that even for an avatara, the body comes, and after the avatara goes, once karma exhausts the bara, the body also goes back to the elements. So therefore, this configuration is apara prakriti. Okay. Swami talks about the gopis here. This is interesting. He says that gopis had this problem constantly. They talk about hide and seek. How many times we heard about the search for enlightenment or for God is a kind of hide and seek thing. It's as if God or realities is hiding from me, and I keep seeking. I'm a seeker. I'm a spiritual seeker, and I'm seeking for something which seems to be hidden from me. Yeah? So in this context, the deities, the gopis, they are not visible. It takes a lot of sadhana, you know. So and then the Lord appears, yeah? And then the gopis are ecstatic, you know, they are really in bliss because now Krishna or whoever appeared. Yeah? So therefore, God comes, I'm happy. God goes, I'm happy. Yeah? And then there are these stories about the gopis, which I do not know, but they are very good illustrations. Yeah? These are para or paraprakriti lords. They are aparaprakriti because they appear and disappear, of course. Yeah? Krishna says these people, they are not very wise. They are not very intelligent. They are deluded devotees, deluded. But it's a little bit rush to say that they are unintelligent and ignorant. It reminds me again of Papaji going all the way there to meet Ramana, so that Ramana could point out to him that this Krishna that he was meeting every time he would do his pujas, his sadhana, was not much worse. Why? Because it was not always present. But yet, Ramana showed up in the northern area of India just to point to Papaji that there was a sage in the southern area of India that could show him God. So he would not go all the way there or use his power to show up there if the guy was ignorant and unintelligent. Of course, Papaji was a highly developed soul, and that happened only because he was very, very highly developed, you know? But still deluded because this veil of Maya is so tricky, so you know sneaky and difficult to be removed because even when you get up there, you are still easily deluded by this sort of duality, and you believe now I got it. But you see, Papaji was also reasoning and say no. I mean, there must be a God that does not come and go, And I came to the same conclusion. There must be something that is not a mental state that come and go. There must be something that is really permanent, as the scriptures say. And still, I mean, at the time I was understanding intellectually that was consciousness, but still I could not really claim it, I couldn't, I mean, if one thing about this last seminar in Brazil was something that I was contemplating, how easily people take intellectual knowledge or academic knowledge or informative knowledge should be one's final goal, and then, how easy someone takes certain mental states to be reality, or to have this knowledge, which is still indirect for some reason, to be the ultimate gain I could have got. It's so easy. I mean, delusion is so easy. This subtle transfer of things, such as my mental state, and my incredibly clear intellectual knowledge by now, delusion has its way so easily. But these are intelligent people still, falling for the tricks of Maya somehow subconsciously. So we need to hold on to reality, and have to be very honest with ourselves, and not to fall for Maya. Maya is the biggest trickist, the biggest illusionist. Huh? He did that with Papaji, and did that with a lot of very developed souls. So that is the Paraprakriti, the consciousness principle, is the true nature, not subject. Here they say the high aspect of God, subject to arrive and departure. There was a miscommunication there, but then Swami tried to correct right away. But it should read, he should have said, that is the high aspect of God, not subject to arrival and departure. Okay, is consciousness subject to arrival and departure? No, it's never subject to arrival and departure, because it's all pervading. It's the only reality, is one without a second. Everything is just happening within the scope of consciousness. And consciousness, not only all pervasive, is the only reality, and it's self-evident at all times. All times it's self-evident. So Maya has the power to cover this consciousness, but does it really cover consciousness? It does cover somehow, by distracting the souls with catching all the visible namarupas, all these, infinite numbers of configurations in the subtle and in the physical realm of our human experience, covering with those things. And then we see that, and we see the light of consciousness shining and revealing what we see more tangibly, So consciousness is never really covered, but it's Maya has the power to distract people. They say that illusionists or magicians, they have the power to deceive people, because they distract people with one hand, and then with the other hand they do things that nobody sees, because we are distracted seeing this hand. So Maya seems to do that, projects all these beautiful things and all these objects, and then we are caught up with attraction and repulsion towards them, and we miss the most evident things. There is no covering at all. There is just a huge distraction caused by the power of Maya. Consciousness is never covered by anything at any time. It appears to. Just a question of a distraction. In fact, you are able to talk about all covers and covering. See, yes. I mean, we can talk about illusion and delusion and covers, all these things we talk, and all these things are seen in consciousness. Consciousness is there to see all these concepts, but yet the power of Maya is such that even after we understand these concepts, we're still easily distracted by Maya. And then we feel like, oh my God, I lost it. The wise person knows that God is always present, shining in the human intellect as a hum. This is my true nature, pratiboddha viditam matam. So they do not talk about God arriving and departing. They do not talk, only deluded people talk about God that come and go. They say unintelligent people and so on. It's people under misconception due to distraction, because this shining world is really, really fascinating, and we can get caught up in it in every aspect of it, you know. So what is the misconception? So misconception is that God is that deity or that Lord that I can get in contact with, but it takes a lot of sadhana and effort to get in contact, and then it appears to me and then disappears. I am a bhakta, so my relationship is with the Lord, and I like to meet Lord face to face. So I used to say that somehow I had the integrity to know that everything I knew here had not yet resolved my condition, but still, due to delusion, after decades searching under the inspiration of Ramana and Nisargadatta, among some others, even from the New Advaita. But I was still under delusion, say, God, please, I know everything, but I don't know. I need to meet you face to face, you know? You see the level of delusion, huh? It's unbelievable. The Lord has appeared and so on. You have to perform tapas for that. In the TV, they show in India the Lord appears and disappears as people do a lot of pujas and tapas. And then in the Indian moves, just imagine how deep this concept is there in the Indian mind, you know? And then the Lord comes and say, I'm very pleased with you by your tapas and pujas. So that's why I'm showing up, you know? Tell me, what is your desire? And then the disciples say, oh, I don't want to die, but the doctor told me I am a terminal disease, you know? And then, and then the deity is going to bless the person and then goes away. The less intelligent people, the deluded people, although they are religious people, they talk about a God that comes and goes. And that is not para prakriti God, it is apara prakriti. And why do they have such a misconception? Why they do not know the true nature of God, which has nothing to do with the gunas of Maya, which brings about numberless attributes in any entity, to any entity. So why not to understand God, which is beyond the gunas of Maya, without date of birth or death, or even as the creator that disappears with pralaya, you know? When was the birth of Vishwara? No, it's birthless, it's beginningless, but it disappears with pralaya. So we are talking about Saguna Brahman, the true nature. What is the higher nature? Is Chaitanya, is Varupam, is the nature of conscious existence, which is everywhere all the time, never not present. In fact, you are able to listen to every word of mine this time because you are the conscious principle, never not present. If you are conscious of these words, you are consciousness. You are conscious of other words, you are the consciousness. The words change, consciousness stays. Silence, no words, so you are the consciousness capturing the silence between words. So if you are not conscious, you cannot say there are no words. You must be conscious. You must be conscious. Oh no, but this is the human consciousness. And then go there and investigate the true nature of human consciousness. Whether there are thoughts, sounds, scenes, consciousness must be there. That is the Satchitananda Svarupam, the nature, Satchitananda. And what is the glory of this Satchitananda? Oh, my words are not flowing very easily today. What is the nature of this Satchitananda? I say I say this hundreds of times in my satsang, and even that is stumbling today. So what to do? Satchitananda. It's never subject to change. It's never not present. Change means beginning, middle, and end. And then any attribute of Krishna or Ishvara, is subject to change. So we have seen this very, very extensively. The Nirvikara nature of Brahman is said to be unsurpassable, unsupportable. I did not understand the meaning of this word. Why to say unsurpassable? Let's see if Swami shed some light here. Is the highest, that which is the highest form of God, the lower form. So it goes for these dualities, the superior, the inferior, the higher, and the lower, the surpassable and unsurpassable, as if we are comparing again, and again, to see which God is the unsurpassable one. But anyhow, the verse 25th, unless you have something to say.
I just love that paragraph where he's talking about the ever-present awareness. It's always there. I mean, totally, that beautiful paragraph.
Yeah.
Conscious at the first word, conscious at the second, conscious when there's silence. It's just, it's very.
These are very, very key pointers, We have to hold on to that vision, to that understanding, because consciousness, as we say, is that which is never not present. Everything, I like the expression, nothing escapes consciousness. Everything is happening within the scope of consciousness. We need to keep that knowledge alive, and we need to claim that consciousness to be our true nature. Verse 25, veiled by my yoga maya, I am not evident to all. Being deluded, this world does not know me, who am birthless and deathless. So now we go into a nice discussion here, or presentation, or disclosure, and it says that the fault falls to Maya, of course. It does not fall really to Ishvara, does not fall to Brahman, of course. But why people are veiled, that has this veil of ignorance, or this huge distraction that does not see the most obvious, And then here Krishna says, due to my yoga maya, So he's saying the power of Maya, due to this cover without covering, due to this distraction, I become not evident to most people. People are deluded. People of this world does not know me, you know. I'm beyond time and space. I'm the light of consciousness, and I'm the intrinsic nature of all my jivas. But these jivas are looking for me in limited forms of my deities, or jivas deities, because it comes from jivas projections mostly. But here the point is that it says they avail due to Maya Shakti, the power. Why Maya becomes this veil, or Maya has the power to distract? Why? We need to ask those questions sometime, you know? Why could not be a world in duality in which we see the world, but we see Brahman, God, consciousness together with it without being distracted? You understand? But as we see in numerous examples, we always get distracted by namarupas, and we don't see the light that reveals namarupas. So the five senses are extroverted towards phenomena, and we see things and we miss. But why? Why to have it done that way, you know? So Maya comes and projects this world of Namarupas. Actually, Ishvara also is, how you say, complice of that, because Maya goes there and projects the gunas, the prakriti, and then within the prakriti comes Ishvara, the supreme intelligence. And then it has to place with the gunas to break it into all elements of the universe. And then from the elements, it can make numberless namarupas. And among the namarupas, the sentient namarupas, because they reflect, they produce, those namarupas produce a sort of sentience, you know? And then these are called jivas. And they are there, they have a reflector, and then they see the world through this reflected consciousness. And when they see the world, they miss the light. I mean, I don't see any other explanation but this light of consciousness shining in the human intellect, which seems to be the most developed reflector. So it distracts the jiva from its own light due to this power. But this power, I don't think it's something done on purpose to make it difficult for the jivas, because how can you create a duality out there, you know, and it shines incredibly attractively, you know, and then you are there and you don't see the world. How human beings would sustain this order if we are not distracted by this order, if we are not deluded, if we are not believing that this is real and that it all contains, all this number contains the happiness. So it's equivalent to say that if from one moment to another, humanity would get self-knowledge and would lose the interest in this apparent projection, so the projection would go and disappear. Why? Because nobody is going to sustain it. Ishvara, Maya, they do not sustain it together. They need our vasanas asking for more, you know, believing in it. So this project is there, and the jivas appear. The jivas are there sustaining. We say that Maya Shakti projects, sustains, and destroys, or recycles everything. But actually, jiva is there. It's co-creating, co-sustaining this apparent reality. How so? Which one's desires, positive and negative desires, you know? And then Ishvara say, oh, you want more? Okay, here it goes, and here it goes. So I don't see how a projection of this level could be done, without the power of deceiving, because if it was evident that it was a projection only, not real, nobody would have interest and nobody would ask for more. No, it's not real, But no, we go from the dream state and then we wake up, no, it was not real. But then we go into the awake state, and in there we believe it to be real, as we have seen in all our texts. And no wonder there is this parallel between the dream state and the awakened state, so that we can see that this is as well a projection done or made by Yoga Maya, as Krishna say here, or Maya Shakti. And due to this projection, we get caught up like, well, oh, look at that. It is fascinating, or it's terrifying, it's scary or whatever, and the dream state, the same thing, we get caught up with those objects. And if we are not caught up, we do not sustain those orders. And that goes to all lokas, including Brahman Loka. It's all sustained by human mind, vasanas, desires, fears. It's fascinating. I like to think on this projection because it's the nature of ignorance is one of the most fascinating things. And Jiva is somehow responsible as well, because we keep feeding it, sustaining it. He says, being deluded, these people of this world do not know me. I am that beyond time and space. I have no birth and no death. Krishna has got its true nature as well its apparent nature, which is subject to arrival and departure and so on. If consciousness is ever evident, and if consciousness is the true nature of God, how come the people, we the people, miss this ever evident true nature of God, true nature of ourselves, true nature of reality? How we miss it, The observer, the conscious observer, is the only reality. How do we miss it? So how come people they identify with one's apparent lower nature, and they want to have Ishvara Darshana even, I want to have Ishvara Darshana, the vision, the total vision of Ishvara. I'm growing up. I am evolving. Now I'm done with my Ista Devata. Now I want to have Ishvara Darshana. I want to see Ishvara as a totality. We are still caught up. We're still caught up. And we are seeing God as the totality of all forms, but still we are caught up in delusion. I want to see Lord like this or like that. And but nobody wants to understand the true nature of God. Why? The very fact they say, I want to see God, it indicates that one is under delusion. Someone told Swamiji that I want to have a dance with Krishna and so on. So those are the desires of people. And Swamiji is teaching. I shared with you last class. I heard that he has about 20 mature students that are really doing the work and coming very often, every time. And this lady says, I want to dance. I want to have a kolatam with Krishna. Most people are interested only in dealing or contacting or interacting with a finite God, which is conditioned by the gunas of Maya, superimposition of the gunas, creating Krishna, so with whom I can dance. And all the time, infinite conscious existence is available, and people all the time vote for the inferior nature. So why is the question. So how this power of Maya can trick everybody to this extent, you know? Why people vote for the inferior nature of God? The lower nature is pura prakriti, as we know. And now he says, because it's material and it's colorful and it's numberless in its configurations, you know, there are many qualities and attributes and characteristics to each one of these aspects of the lower nature of God that makes God to be very attractive. And that goes not only to God, but to any object of media. It appears to be attractive because it's rich and in attributes, properties, and qualities, and we want to, you know, enjoy those colorful objects. No, God is Saguna. God is beautiful. No, it has a taste, a sound. You can hear it. You know, there are the five aspects, the five attributes derived from the five senses. They are present in this God. Therefore, this God is very attractive. It goes to the world. The world is very attractive because it fulfills, you know, the sense of, but it does not really fulfill. Because if we would take the world with equanimity as value neutral, we could say, oh, this is very interesting. There is varieties of namarupas giving me different experience and impressions, you know, and they are all good. They're all good. But how long you're going to be caught up if you have that understanding, you know? So you say, okay, now, enough, I understood. Okay. No, you have to really fall for the game and believe that some of those namarupas, they are fulfilling me, they are making me happy. And some of those namarupas are making me unhappy, not realizing that is my likes and dislikes that is causing my happiness and my unhappiness. So this ignorance turns the person extrovert, interest in the gunas of Maya, the namarupas, in the attributes of everything in the world, including God. Yoga Maya means that Maya Shakti, which consists of the three gunas, Maya Prakriti. Yoga means a combination of the three gunas. The Prakriti of Maya just brings this world. Combination of the three gunas is called Maya. So Yoga Maya means Triguna Timika. Maya belongs to the what? The Apara Prakriti. And this Maya is always very, very tempting, deceiving. Tempting, deceiving. This Maya is going to delude all beings, tempted by, seduced by, carried away by the colors of the gunas, the characteristic, the attribute. The variety is so immense that one saying, no, I want to come back again and again because I'm never tired of experiencing new things, you know. 20 years ago, they made a move in the USA, in Hollywood, say my bucket list or something like that. And then people have a list of all my desires that I have to fulfill before I die. And then rich people, at that time we knew some rich people that used to come to our restaurant in Olympia. They would talk about, oh, I went to Africa for this, I went to, to that. So, I mean, I want to do as much as I can this lifetime. Next time, I don't know if I'll be that rich to fulfill my desires. So people get deluded. The gunas of Mayas allows us infinite numbers of new experience, which are not really new, but appears to be new, but never satisfies the jiva. Very, very tempting, very seducing, very deluding. We are carried away by the gunas of Maya, and we are robbed by this yoga Maya power. We are robbed by our viveka, our discrimination, our peace, So my my discrimination is clouded, my vairagya is compromised, my disciplines are lost because I'm carried away by the law of attraction that these gunas of Maya calls in every human intellect, human being. That's why people talk about falling in love. Yeah, you see, we fall exactly like we fall in love. Why don't we say we raise in love? We rise in love. It does not happen to rise in love. You are attracted, seduced by some finite aspects of your beloved. And it's very deceiving, like Maya, oh, look, each one of those two jivas, they are present the best, they are doing a huge effort to present the best aspects of oneself. And then when you see you're in trouble, my higher nature is not evident because of extrovertedness, because of this delusion, caused by the delusion. The namarupas of Maya are the real deal. There is infinite numbers of experience available in samsara. Therefore, even if samsara, not only the physical one, the mystical becomes even more exciting when you hear these people from the mystical world. They're interested in Saguna Ishwara. They like the gunas. They never heard about the gunas, but they love the gunas and the attributes derived from the play of the gunas and the elements and so on. So who is interested in Nirguna Brahman? Oh, very rare individuals with enough discrimination. Very intelligent people come to this understanding and become serious about realizing it directly rather than just indirectly. Then now we begin Swamiji's the following class, verse 25 to 30. Swami is reminding us of the concept of Sakama Bhakti and Niskama Bhakti. Sakama Bhakti gets the person more or less stagnated, but the person does not fall spiritually. So therefore, our scriptures do not condemn the Sakama Bhakti, the one who enters this relationship with God for the sake of accomplishing one's personal desires. It's valid. It's encouraged by our scriptures. We have seen that there are plus and minus points. Krishna was talking first of the minus points in respect to Sakama Bhakti. The minus point is that anything you gain is going to go. If you gain, you're going to lose, because the only thing you don't lose if you gain is that which was always ever gained, because it's your true nature, the true nature of God. If you get money, children, or a good job, anything is going to go. Or even the highest loka, such as Brahma Loka, it's going to go. It expires. Everything is finite. Because it's finite, any pleasure you get is the fact and limited, finite pleasure. If we look into these teachings of Vedanta, especially as presented by Swamiji, and I follow his footsteps as well, it's almost insulting for most people in the spiritual path, because most people in the spiritual path, they are caught up with things, they want finite, limited things, possessions. I'm a very spiritual person. I have a good samadhi mind and so on, and, all these, and my concepts about spirituality. So if people really come in contact with these teachings, they may feel a little bit like, oh my God, this Vedanta thing is too much. It's too hard to. I see my delusion being exposed here. I don't take one more step with this Vedanta. I'm out of here, because nobody enjoys having one's delusion crashed, And Swami puts that out very clearly. And I enjoy doing that as well, since they can give pleasure only for a moment. Those joys will be lost. The pleasures are lost. And then there will be pain, because nothing hurts more than having your pleasure taken away. And finally enough, when you see the whole mechanism, nothing hurts more than facing your delusion. But it's that point that we can turn things around. Every flattering mithya, according to Vedanta, has pain contained within it. And if you get a lot of pleasure on something, the pain that is contained with it is equally, proportionally there. If it's a huge pain, a huge pleasure, the pain is going to be big. Why? Because this pleasure is going to go. And if it's a huge pleasure, the pain is going to be huge as well. You understand? No, I mean, it's pure logic. It's clear. Vedanta is something that does not leave loose ends on anything, it's just like pure logic. Sakama Bhakti will keep a person within samsara, material, mundane samsara, or even a spiritual samsara. The person may get temporary pleasures and pain again and again. Life is nothing but a flow, a flux of pleasure and pain, pleasure and pain, pleasure and pain. Samsara will continue for as long as I am a Sakama Bhakti. A person may not fall completely, but a person will not grow spiritually unless the person, this Sakama Bhakti, became a Karma Yogi, as I have pointed out last class. Karma Yogi is a different game. It's clear. Now I'm done with trying to gain worldly things as a means to be happy and complete. Now I want to refine and purify, develop, grow spiritually so that I can enter Yana Yoga and get out of the game. So once we become a Karma Yogi, we still, within this context, classified as a Sakama. Niskama Bhakti is still relating to Ishvara in its saguna, inferior or limited nature. But from there, I have it clear. My final destination is the understanding of the Nirguna Atma, my very nature, free and always independent from everything of this world. So what should very, very wise and intelligent people do? If the person comes to understand that finite things have potentially pain built into it, the person is intelligent enough to look for something else. Now, it's not possible that life is only about pleasure and pain, pleasure and pain. I have tried accomplishing many desires, but it gives some pleasure sometimes, but then pain is there. And there is no way, there is no end for that. I will never find permanent satisfaction, security, and peace. So the intelligent person is going to start praying and say, there must be something else rather than chase pleasures and avoid pain. There must be something else. And this something else is the real goal of all births, human births. Freedom from all these limitations. The Lord Krishna says that is the nature That is the nature, the infinite goal is the goal of understanding one's limitless, infinite nature as Nirguna Brahman, Para Prakriti in another language, my very true nature. Everything falling, we see Apara Prakriti, means matter/energy, is limited and finite. Conscious existence alone is Apara Prakriti, the only reality. Then the nature question is, where is this Pura Prakriti available? Where can I find it? Krishna says, for these also I have given an answer. And what is the answer? Pura Prakriti is consciousness. It's a consciousness principle, which is everywhere, including in your own physical body. Krishna said in the 5th verse, the Krishna had pointed out that Para Prakriti is the true nature of God. And Para Prakriti is the infinite. Para Prakriti is Chaitanya, consciousness, of consciousness nature, is the nature of Ishvara, Jiva, and Jagata. Every Jiva is the same true nature. Nature is one and the same, is that without each, this world cannot exist. In fact, because of that consciousness, I'm aware of everything, including the body and the mind, and so on. Therefore, the finite source of peace and happiness, where I'm going to find it in the understanding, knowledge of one's true nature, which is sometimes referred to as my very heart, my very mind, my very soul, the nature of my soul. So the next question then would be, if the infinite is very much available as my intrinsic nature, how come I have been running for finite goals my entire life? When infinite peace is my very nature, why I should go in search of finite goals? When I got water, pure water under my house, why should I be struggling to get corporation contaminate water? You know, Krishna says there can only be one reason. And what's the reason? The reason for what? For I have this source of peace, love, and security as my very nature, but I'm still searching for things of this world which are finite and limited by nature. Why I'm still seeking outside? I'm seeking outside only for one reason. I don't know that my very nature is what I'm searching and seeking for. It's the ignorance, the sheer ignorance of this fact, that is the power of Maya in action. It somehow covers my intellectual understanding. This fact is a veil, is called a veil of Maya. We need to remove this covering. The word discover means uncover. You have to uncover something. You have to discover your true nature by removing this cover. What is the cover? Distraction. I'm seeing what shines, and I am not seeing the light that reflects and shines every object of medium. I need to pull the cover. I require to discover, because there is an apparent covering. Discovering, I'm present this time here as a sort of distraction that extroverts the human mind. And the next natural question is, who is responsible for discovery? For which Krishna gives the answer in the next verse. In the 25th verse that we have just seen, it's the Maya, Yoga Maya, Maya Shakti. Krishna says, by my own Maya, I'm going to delude all my jivas. Avarana Shakti produce this covering. It somehow covers, compromise one seeing, one understanding, one vision, you know? Avarana Shakti. And this idea is not a new idea. Krishna has given it on in the 13th verse of this chapter. Okie dokie. It's fascinating. I love to follow this train of thoughts. I hope you guys are enjoying as well. I believe so. We are all highly qualified Vedantins. We have no problem with facing this trickest illusionists face to face. Maya, stop it. You don't get me anymore. I'm not going to be distracted by you. Right, Lynn?
Yeah, I think of it more as instead of removing the cover, seeing through it.
Seeing through it, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. We cannot remove. You got that? It's under Ishwara's. No?
Yeah, it's Ishwara's vibhuti. It's glory of Ishwara.
Yeah, beautiful.
This is a beautiful class. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything else?
It made me think of the Kena Upanishad. I am the eye of the eye. I am the ear of the ear. I am the mind of the mind, not what people worship here.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. We need to keep this vision, this darshan of reality alive, this knowledge alive in our minds, offsetting the power of Maya to distract us, definitely. Okie dokie. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnama Purna I lost it. Om
Purnameva Vashishate. Om
Om
Shanti Shanti Shanti.
My mind was a little bit defect today, but I have no complaint. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Next Monday. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Bye now.